friends. Mrs. Ellis here. I thought it would be fun if tonight I read you a good night story. I have my good night hat on and thought this would be a fun thing because I know how much you love Pete the Cat. And this story is called Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. Did you know in the front of, I think, almost every Pete the Cat book that I've read, there's a Bible verse? And in this one, it says, "To all the kids who love Pete the Cat, stay groovy." Mark 9:23. And I looked that up in my Bible, and Mark 9:23 says, "Nothing is impossible to those who believe." Jesus was talking to his friends, and I thought that was very encouraging. So we are going to read Pete the Cat. Pete and the gang had a great idea. They'd been at the beach with surf and sun and tons of fun. Oh, the beach is so much fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. So Pete had a great idea. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy, said the alligator. Pete's place, let's go. So now they're all heading for Pete's house. Sounds like fun. Sleepovers are great. The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided that it was time to say goodnight. On went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap, clap, clap. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to go to sleep. Pete tried again to catch some Z's when rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed either. I want to jam instead. Well, Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch it was alligator. He was always for eating. What could Pete do? I don't know. What do you think? Not sure what he's going to do. All the clapping and the rat-a-tat-tatting and the munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. Hey, he got out his favorite bedtime story. And he said, hey, let's read. First to himself and then to the gang. They all look like they're having a great time. Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, and no more munching. They all settled down and no one made a sound. They were very quiet. That was a good job. Pete yawned. And he turned off the light. Good night. Sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, fun, and tons of fun. I hope that you all had a good time listening to my story. And I'm going to pray for good dreams tonight. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for all these precious friends. I pray for good dreams tonight, a good sleep, dreams about you and how much you love them and care for them. And I thank you for all the mommies and daddies and boys and girls and all the good things that you're doing in us in this time of waiting. So we give you our time tonight, our sleep. In Jesus' name.